Hey guys, check it out. You're watching Jonathan Clarke on YouTube. Oh no! I became a fan of Descendants of Zombies from out of nowhere one night when I watched it for the first time. And ever since that first time I watched Descendants, I felt captivated. I felt lost for words more than enough, and I wanted to create something special for every fan of Descendants of Zombies. I had no idea how I would ever do it or touch all of your hearts and win all of your hearts in the end. But some way or somehow I did that because of your love and support. I could have never made it here without any of you. And that's the one thing I've always wanted you guys to never forget. I wouldn't be here if not for any of you. So I say when it comes to events like the Worlds Collide Tour, let's talk about them. And let's offer people encouragement that something special is going to come of this. And we are all going to have the chance to be a part of history because that's really what we're setting ourselves up for. And we can feel more strongly than ever before in friendships of Cody Cantrell and Malia Baker for how they've been there for each other every step of the way, which is something I think is incredibly beautiful and something deserving of being supportive of, which many of us have become. We've also become very supportive of friendships like Malachi Burton and Freya Skies because they've also been there for each other every step of the way, and I found time in appreciating that and what they had to endure to keep these friendships intact. They were separate from each other many times, and even though they were apart, they still called each other to make sure that they were okay, and they were dealing with the circumstances of being under a lot of pressure with entertainment very well. It was really cool seeing your favorite stars really grow into something special and become what they did, and I felt more honored to be a part of that with each and every one of you than perhaps anybody who's ever talked about or discussed Descendants of Zombies with you guys, because the majority of videos that you see never sees anybody go in depth about Descendants of Zombies. They just say the hairstyles are Red and Chloe, the outfits are beautiful, they look strong. Pretty much the obvious things are stated in these reaction videos. Nobody ever really has a conversation with you guys that gets right down to the point about Descendants of Zombies until I kind of showed up. Now, I will admit to you guys that Descendants of Zombies kind of just happened for me one night at random when this one girl showed up at my door on Halloween dressed up as Bridget, I think it was, and she tried to get me to guess who she was. And honestly, guys, I was forever grateful for that because it led me to all of you. It gave me the chance to create something special after being given so much incentive and inspiration. I never imagined that so many people would have came together and created something so special for me, really allowed me to be a part of something so special. But I will never, ever forget any of you for what you did for me in this channel, because this was never my channel. This channel was always an art gallery with my art in it for you guys to walk through. So I basically created an art gallery. What a YouTuber does is they create an art gallery for you to walk through and see their art put on display. And it's all about how you respond to it, how well received the artwork is by you. And this YouTube channel has received so many incredible reviews because of you. This YouTube channel happened because of you. So if you're feeling encouraged about the Worlds Collide Tour, it is my duty to encourage you further to believe in the Worlds Collide Tour and you having a chance of attending it, because there were many people who were shut out of the first installment of this tour who wanted to go to this more than anything else in their own life that they would ever have a chance to experience. And I encourage you guys that you would have other opportunities to see this, and it's only coming to fruition now, but it gives us something to be really excited about for the foreseeable future. The scariest thing for me about the future always has been never knowing what the future has in store, but that doesn't mean that we can't experience this future together and have the chance to be a part of something so special. I had the chance to be a part of something so special with you, and I would like to continue to be a part of something so special in the future, because the future is setting us up to be a part of something so unbelievable. New characters, new storylines, new concepts, which is going to be really cool for a lot of fans of Descendants of Zombies. Red now has a sister named Pink. We're going to be faced with many consequences of time travel in present-day Wonderland. We have the event of the Worlds Collide Tour coming up. Over 46 arena dates for this tour is going to be awesome, and I'm looking forward to covering every single one of them. Now, I know that for every crowd, there's going to be a critic found within that crowd who is going to really get to the point about what they didn't like about the tour. They're going to criticize the merchandise. They're going to do it all. But the one thing that you guys can always count on is I will be here to encourage you to buy that Worlds Collide Tour hoodie. I will always be there to encourage you to spend your money and waste your money on tickets to the Worlds Collide Tour, because I think this is so cool. And you only ever grow up once. You're only ever going to grow old once. So when you get like my age, you're going to want to look back on this. You're going to want to say, you know, everything that I did for the Worlds Collide Tour, everything I did for Descendants of Zombies, how much I believed in it, was worth it because I made so many friends. I was able to connect with more people than I ever imagined possible. I was able to put my passions on display. You're going to ask yourself all this. You may not realize it now, but 15, 20 years from now when you're a lot older, you will ask yourself this and you will say to yourself, this was so cool. I had the chance to be a part of something so special. I may have even had the chance to meet people like Clarke and Freya Sky because I love them so much. Because the one thing about you guys is your love and support is truly unconditional for the people who create videos. It may not always be for me. It may be for somebody else that you guys watch. But my one and only ever hope has always been that somebody was going to think these videos were cool and they were going to hit my subscribe button because they preferred my commentaries over everybody's analogies of Descendants of Zombies, which really only run generally from 7 to 12 minutes in length, which really doesn't tell you anything about how that person feels, that individual feels about Descendants of Zombies. The one thing I always got from reaction videos that people would post about songs created by Kylie and Freya were how emotionally connected you guys were to those songs because of something you may have been going through in your own life, and that's what made them so special. While many of you probably never admitted to that while recording reaction videos for songs like Silent Treatment, you felt connected to that, just as you felt connected to Descendants of Zombies. That's what brought you to the Worlds Collide Tour, and these moments where you realize that being a fan of Descendants of Zombies was cool, because to be honest with you guys, it didn't take me very long. It never took a degree in rocket science to figure out why everybody loved Descendants of Zombies. It was because Descendants of Zombies would go on to hold a very special place in your heart for the character stories and how those character stories were brought to life and how you appreciated friendships like Kylie's and Malia's and sisterhood being exemplified by Red and Pink, and now Red and Chloe having created the new supervillain, which again presents the chance for a new storyline for us to get caught up within. And in all honesty, guys, there's so much to be excited about. And for those of you who have always believed in Descendants of Zombies, thank you so much, because you are the reason why this is happening and why we have so much to get caught up within and be excited about. And I'm just looking forward to being a part of this future with all of you. As long as you guys can keep one promise from me, that you're going to go to the Worlds Collide Tour and you're going to have the time of your life, regardless of who shows up, who's a critic, who will go home and post a review on YouTube for you to feel discouraged about. I just want you to go and have a good time. And I want you to buy that hoodie that you've always wanted to wear, that you've always wanted to have as part of your collection, that one doll that's always eluded your collection, because no matter who we are, we always see something so special in the passions that people have for collecting the merchandise that comes with the hoodies and of course the dolls, which is really, really cool. What do you guys think Red and Chloe have up to 3 outfits that you guys are going to see in Descendants 5 with Wonderland? The reason, I know a lot of people have been asking why Red and Chloe have up to 3 different outfits for costume wardrobe changes for Descendants 5 with Wonderland. The reason is, let me take you behind the scenes. Behind the scenes, there's a lot of development for merch and opportunities to create merch for Disney, because Disney always has this thing where they have to capitalize on merch, like the development of new dolls because of new characters, outfits, what have you. They've always went with the Barbie doll kind of trend. The reason why they do this is so that they can create new doll lines for the merch line. And you will see new updated dolls with updated costumes. You will see more opportunities to create more images for hoodies and things like that. That's why they do that, because they're always about capitalizing and giving you guys what you want. Like I've always wanted to give you guys what you wanted in reviews. So when you think about all the wardrobe changes that you'll see these characters go through throughout the movie and the storyline being developed and premiered for the first time ever, it's all about giving you guys what you wanted and creating something special. I know, while I can't speak for every director or creative mind out there, if I was the director and writer of Descendants of Zombies, I would always think to myself, what can I do to give you guys what you want? What can I do to take all of your ideas and put it in one big cauldron and see one massive explosion of ideas and creativity? The best way of doing it, I've always believed, is giving your stars creative control that they've always desired. Because it's one thing to be told how to act and how to perceive yourself, but when you can come off with the person that you want to be, that's what makes this so special. That's what takes away tears. That's what eliminates criticism. And if you can eliminate tears and eliminate criticism, then you've got something special that you've created. I know that Kenny Ortega may have thought that Descendants was his greatest creation, but he's got a lot to contend with. He's got Hocus Pocus. He's got High School Musical. That's obviously made him a Disney legend. But I've always believed that I could have offered something special to this, because the one thing I would always have done is listen to all of you, which many of them haven't. I think that we've really got to start listening to fans. Disney's really got to start listening to its audience and creating things that you want to see happen. Like your favorite stars have all these magical powers, like something from Crimson Desert. which just came out on PlayStation 5, which is the coolest game ever because of its exploration of fantasy. So you think about a game like Crimson Desert for its exploration of fantasy. Descendants and Zombies could have an exploration of fantasy similar to that, but in its own unique way. They're already discussing having characters from Descendants and Zombies enter Fortnite, which would be really cool. I actually just downloaded Fortnite the other night. But when you can explore fantasy, and you can have all these characters in this fantasy world that we never dreamed would have became a reality for many of us, that's what makes this so special, because there are many fans of Descendants and Zombies who are waiting on a character. Like, I've forever been waiting on Alice in Wonderland to enter the Descendants franchise. Where is Alice in Wonderland? Where is the Alice character herself? Why doesn't Alice have a daughter? Those are questions that have always remained in the back of my mind. Because if you introduce daughters of people like Tiana, that's one way of looking at it, because it creates a supervillain and controversy within the storylines for Red and Chloe to have to face. But when you have characters that have defined those franchises, such as Alice, or such as Belle, that's what makes it so special, and that's what really brings it to life. Because who do you think over 50 years ago brought Alice in Wonderland to life? It was Alice herself, because of her curiosity, how brilliant she was, how intelligent she was. What brought Belle's character to life was how both intelligent and how sweet the girl was. And I think those character traits of Disney princesses could be exemplified through sons or daughters they may have had. Because we obviously saw something special in Cruella de Vil's son Carlos, who was played by Cameron Boyce, someone who we all dearly love, and we've always believed that he is one of the greatest Descendants characters of all time, no doubt. His legacy has forever been solidified, something that I've desperately been trying to do for myself for forever is leave behind a legacy for everything I've shared with you when it comes to Descendants of Zombies. I've had the honor to be a part of so many unbelievable experiences because of all of you, and I believed in Descendants of Zombies perhaps more than anybody. I've always believed that Descendants of Zombies had something special to offer all of us and will continue to have something special to offer all of us for many years to come. I've honestly had the time of my life talking about your favorite stars. I've undeniably believed that they are some of the strongest people ever witnessed, and because they are some of the strongest people ever witnessed, I've always wanted to hold on to believing in that. I've always wanted to give you guys something special to believe in return, because this story is far from over and we still have a long way to go. So because we still have a long way to go, that should give more people more incentive to believe in something special, to feel more strongly about Descendants of Zombies than perhaps ever before. My favorite Descendants character was always Ruby Rose Turner's character Bridget, for just how genuinely sweet the girl was, how she always gave us something to believe in and feel encouraged about, how she really exemplified how much further kindness can really take a person in this lifetime. And if there was one thing that I could always thank Ruby Rose Turner for, it would be illustrating the profound impact that kindness has always had on everyday individuals, who we never really notice a whole lot, but if we notice them more and show a little bit of extra kindness to them, we can really see how much further kindness could take us in this lifetime. The one thing I've often appreciated about Descendants of Zombies more than enough is how there are far more kinder people found within this niche and this franchise than perhaps ever given credit for. You guys are phenomenal and nothing short of it. And I've always wanted you guys to have a wonderful experience experiencing Descendants of Zombies, because many of you have just become introduced to Descendants of Zombies through this new franchise. Your introduction through this new franchise to Descendants of Zombies has been phenomenal for all of you, and many of you had the chance to attend your first Disney concert at the expense of the Worlds Collide Tour. So because you had the chance to attend your first Disney concert, I've always believed that these moments should be encouraged, and they should forever and always be cherished and never ever forgotten, because 20, maybe 25, even 30 years from now, you're going to look back at these moments and say, hey, I was there. I had the chance to experience it, and it meant so much to me. And, I can only imagine how you guys feel when you see these ridiculous reviews posted about Descendants of Zombies, and somebody obviously feels very differently about it. I think that a voice and a face for you guys to watch on YouTube has always got to understand you. And I think that's what a lot of content creators fail to realize, is they've got to understand you and create content on what you want discussed and what you want to hear talked about. I've often asked you guys, what do you want to talk about? Do you want to talk about the Worlds Collide Tour? Do you want to talk about something special that's bound to happen for Kylie Control with the release of her new single, up-and-coming Carrie Bradshaw? Because Carrie Bradshaw reminds her a lot of herself. There's nothing wrong with that, and perceiving everything with an open heart and an open mind. There's nothing wrong with ever perceiving yourself the way you want your image to be perceived rather than a record label. It's one thing for me to tell Kylie Control how to act and how to perceive herself, but what it comes down to is how she feels. And if we can be supportive of that, as long as we can be supportive of Kylie Control and what she believes in and what she feels, that's what makes these moments so worth experiencing, and that's what's made what I've done as a YouTuber for over 25 years so special to me. Thank you so much for having made this your favorite Descendants of Zombies YouTube channel. I can never seem to say thank you enough, because you guys are the reason why I'm here. Why I get the chance to sit behind this microphone and this chair every night is to talk about Descendants of Zombies with all of you. They are conversations that I obviously have looked forward to and I've always cherished for forever. So thank you so much for having chosen this YouTube channel as your favorite Descendants of Zombies YouTube channel, because the way I see it is we have got a lot to be excited about and a lot to discuss, a lot to get to. So if you have not subscribed here to this YouTube channel, because this story is far from over and one should always believe that this story is far from over, then I think you should think about hitting that subscribe button and joining me for these conversations, which I've obviously looked forward to having for you for a very long time. Thank you so much for having chosen this YouTube channel as your favorite Descendants of Zombies YouTube channel of all time, and I will see you guys in the next video, because there's always going to be a special place in our hearts for Descendants of Zombies, franchises that we grew up with, that we became familiarized with, knowable about, and franchises that will hold a very special place in our hearts for many years to come. Thank you so much for having watched this video.